EA Sports, it's in the game. He tucked that ball away, lowered his head, and boom, end zone.
It's another one. We got another one. It's her.
Well, ain't it nice to see a familiar face? Welcome to another year of football with Madden NFL 23. Before we get started, go ahead and change up your options, or just stick with what worked for you last year. And don't worry, if you ever feel like switching it up, you can always change things around in settings later. Accessibility settings.
Damn, it's the intro? Yes, it's the intro. Damn, this is the intro? Yes, it's the intro.
They don't know what they info. If we coming like this on the intro, what they here for? If they want the heat, you know who to send for your info. Buy my money like Venmo. This music don't work out. I know how to get it from my ends low. How you feel though? Cause hey, they can't rock with us. Galaxy ain't no stopping us. They ain't try to steal my style. I'm feeling like I just shot for. Can't trust him cause he not my. Cause we worried about getting figures. All my ain't father figures. Just know my quick to pop it.
Damn, it's the intro? Yes, it's the intro. Damn, this is the intro? Yes, it's the intro. Damn, it's the intro? Yes, it's the intro. Damn, this is the intro? Yes, it's the intro.
It's the NFL on EA Sports. And if it's in the game, it's in the game. It's the Rams and the Bengals, and it comes your way. Next.
And he's going to be out of bounds across the 50. Great return. Here we go. Mixon with a first down carry. And he is going to lose yardage here. That's going to go as a loss of 2, and it'll be second down. Again, it's Mixon. And he's going to be brought down inside the 45 at the 43. That's what they needed. It's an 8-yard gain, and now 3rd and 4 suddenly doesn't look so bad. To Mixon on the check down. And he'll be taken down, but he does have first down yardage. It's a 7-yard gain there, and it's good enough to move the chains. They will throw on first down with Burrow. So they'll get 8 out of that completion. And that down in just a couple. Burrow going to give this to Mixon. Spins past him. And he will be out of bounds here on what will turn out to be the final play of this first quarter. And just like that, we're through one in the biggest game of the year. And we are back and ready to go for the second quarter of the Super Bowl. Brandon Gaudin, Charles Davis, as always, thrilled to be with you. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. Give him 4 yards there. It'll be 2nd and 6. This is Mixon on the draw. And he is going to lose yardage here. That'll set him back with a loss of 3 on the play. And just like that, it's 3rd down. They're passing here. Joe Burrow. Got a man. It's Chase. He completes it. And out of bounds all the way down at the 3. They're able to convert on third down, and that sets up a 1st and goal. They'll give it to Mixon, and he is in. Touchdown, Bengals. Joe Mixon, a 3-yard touchdown run, and the Bengals are in for 6. Extra point by McPherson, up and good. A good drive that time as they go 9 plays in all. And it all culminated in the touchdown run coming from Joe Mixon. After the touchdown, McPherson on to kick this one away. The Los Angeles offense and the man in charge of it in his 2nd season with the team, 14th overall in what's been an impressive career, Matthew Stafford. Now a 1st down throw, Stafford. He'll get this complete to Cooper Kupp, and he'll be out of bounds, but able to get it up past the 45. 1st down at Stafford. Looking for Cooper Kupp again, 2 in a row. Now the offense going to use the 1st of their timeouts as the stoppage will come with a little under a minute to go in this 1st half. On 1st and 10, Stafford. It's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect. After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. To the air again, Stafford. And his throw is going to be incomplete. So back-to-back incompletions, and that has him staring at a 3rd and 10. Stafford. And he'll be taken down by the Bengal pressure. And now that brings up 4th down there, a loss of 6 yards on the sack. 4th down, so on is the punter, Riley Dixon. Back deep, Trent Taylor. And did he put that on a dime? He did. Wow, out of bounds at the 1-yard line. The field position game, such an overlooked facet, Charles, of an NFL game, but this offense, they're going to be pinned back. What an ideal punt.
An ideal punt, and it leads to that term complementary football, because them doing that puts their defense in a great spot, doesn't it? Gives them a chance. If they want to be aggressive, try and maybe get a safety out of this whole thing, it puts them in that position.
So one of the greatest performances of the year usually, but not here. Halftime of the Super Bowl is skipped, and we are on to the 2nd half. Welcome back. Charles and I settled into the booth, ready for quarter number 3. The Rams set to receive the 2nd half kickoff, and they trail here as we resume play. So the Rams coming back onto the field, their 2nd drive of the game. They trail here in the Super Bowl, but fortunately for them, Charles, very much still within striking range.
Yeah, things didn't go exactly the way they planned in the 1st half. To me, they appeared to be a little bit tight, made a few errors they normally wouldn't, but of course, this is the Super Bowl, so things get a little bit heightened in that regard. But I think they have to feel a little fortunate. They're only down what they are here starting the 3rd quarter.
2nd down, they'll go with Akers again. And brought down, but not before reaching the 25. It's a gain of 11 yards that time, and it produces a new set of downs. Stafford on 1st down. And his throw is incomplete. Looked like he had a couple of different options as far as who to throw to on that play. Who am I to say this, but I'm not sure he made the right decision.
The window of opportunity is always going to be small in the NFL. That's why those quarterbacks who make quick decisions and have quick releases have the most success in this league.
Throwing on 3rd down, Stafford. Man open, it's Kupp. He's got it. And he takes us beyond the 35 before going out of bounds. entire season coming down to this next quarter. 3 in the books here. And we're back in the Super Bowl. Time to decide who gets to hoist that Lombardi trophy as we begin the 4th and final quarter of action. On first down, Stafford here. Throwing over the middle, but it's incomplete. An incomplete pass on first down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. Stafford. And incomplete. 3rd and long coming up. Defensively, you pressure the quarterback or drape all over the passing lane?
Yes, that's exactly what you do. It's both because they're not mutually exclusive. They may have been at one time in football, but not anymore. You want to have that pressure. If you have a big-time pass rusher, send him out.
Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. And his guys are going to get the football at their own 47-yard line.
Brandon, offensively, this has been a tough day for him. Trying to find a place to throw the football. It's been extremely difficult. I've got to give a lot of credit to the secondary, especially the corners who've had the receivers on lockdown.
There's some space here. Touchdown! Joe Mixon, his 2nd touchdown this Super Bowl. And the Bengals are in for 6. But he certainly played a pivotal role with those 2 TDs and why they're up on the scoreboard right now.
Well, someone's all about winning, aren't they? Because he's not worried about the number. Sure, it's great to have 2 touchdowns. The bottom line is what he's doing is contributing to their lead. He wants to continue to do so.
After the touchdown, McPherson on to kick this one away. And they'll start at the 25 as Powell decides against returning it. The Rams ready to go on offense. And you're still in this game. I mean, yeah, you haven't scored. Offense obviously has struggled, but you're only 2 scores down, so all hope not lost.
Not at all, because we're talking about the NFL, and teams can score fast in this league. Quick strikes, you're right back in it. You're exactly right. Keeping hope alive.
Stafford's throw pulled in by Robinson here. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. And his throw here is incomplete. So another incompletion there. He's hitting on fewer than half his pass attempts in this one, and that is not a winning formula.
Yeah, so let's make sure we give a little bit of credit to the defense here. They're giving him a lot to think about, a lot of different looks, and he seems a little bit confused trying to complete passes.
Now they face a 3rd and 10 after back-to-back incompletions. Throwing again at Stafford. That'll be caught. It's caught. And he'll be taken down, but he does have first down yardage. Meanwhile, Stafford's throw here holding by Cup. Now the offense going to use the first of their timeouts as they'll stop him with a little over 30 ticks to go in the football game. Out of the gun, Stafford. Connecting with Cup here on the out route. Now another timeout called for by the offense as the clock stops with 23 seconds to go in the game. Now Stafford. Over the middle and complete to the tight end, Higbee. Now the offense will burn their 3rd and final timeout. And as the 2 teams talk it over on their respective sidelines, we take a break. From the red zone now, Stafford. And he'll be hit as he releases it, and that'll fall incomplete. So after the incompletion on first, now 2nd and 10. The shotgun snap for Stafford. And that is incomplete. 7 seconds remaining. This offense was on the move. Now 2 straight incompletions have them looking at 3rd and 10. Again, it's Stafford. And this is intercepted, and that should do it. Picked off by Eli Apple. And he will bring it back. It's a pick 6 for Bengals TD. So from one end zone all the way to the other. Talk about a turnaround.
And how about the excitement that play generates for his team? Not just the points on the board, but the momentum and taking it from coast.
Madden 23 gives control. Stick with what you try to hit the sweet spot of the passing meter to guarantee yourself an accurate or perfect pass. Place control. Try to stick with what you know. Try to hit the sweet spot of the
people that wake up and go get it.
Madden 23 gives you multiple new ways to pass the ball. Try to hit the sweet spot of the passing meter to guarantee yourself an accurate or perfect pass. Place the ball exactly where you want it around your target by using the passing reticle and target area.
My squad superior, ain't none above us. We doing numbers. Gang in the building, we taking it over. Call the promoters. I just put up in this thing with my soldiers. I blew it and I'm still. Last minute, I'ma need me some.
This is a special presentation of EA Sports from the Coliseum. The Coliseum back to its original 70s glory. What a scene in the East Bay, and we're underway in the John Madden Legacy game. Oh, a good-looking return set up here. And he's free going down the left side. It's a foot race. He will score. Touchdown, NFC. I know a lot of special teams coaches, they just want to keep it away from him because that's what he can do.
And others have egos that their players can't keep up with. And they say, challenge him. Kick it to him. The way he runs as fast as he is, I wouldn't challenge him at all and do everything possible to keep it away.
He is just a blur when he gets a full head of steam, and he got a full head of steam there. So let's try this again. After the kick return TD, here's yet another kickoff. And we will not see an attempt to match that return touchdown, as this will be a touchback and bring it out to the 25. So it's the NFC Stars who will get the ball first. And, Charles, as we alluded to, we've got a different era of coach on each sideline. So the man coaching this NFC squad, we'll call him Young John Madden. This is a coach who was trying to establish a foothold in the NFL and on the cusp of doing it very successfully.
Yeah, you think back to that period, those early days as a coach of the Raiders, the late 60s in the AFL and then in the NFL in the early 70s. Coach was a guy who was ahead of his time. The Raiders were one of the first teams to have mini camps, one of the first to film practice, because he wanted to practice coaching as much as he could. And his teams, they were successful right from the start of his head coaching tenure.
Rush coming, and he's taken down. Kevin Green coming in from that outside linebacker spot, and he buries him for a loss of 7. Now, following the sack, they'll look to make amends on a 2nd down and 17. On the toss, here's Allen. Not much there, maybe a couple up to the 35. And it looks like we've got a dime set here defensively. 6 DBs in the game. Now Brady. Under a heavy rush, and down he goes. Jalen Ramsey with a sack on the corner blitz. So now make that a 2nd sack for them on this drive.
And Brandon, we hear it every week when we go out to do a game. Everyone talks about playing complementary football. Their offense goes down and scores. They see that, and they want to back them up, and that they did, getting 2 sacks on this first drive.
Oh, twisting away. And all the way in for the touchdown. That punt returned 69 yards. And the NFC strikes quickly for 6. Extra point by Anderson, up and good. And that'll make the score 14-0. So his big play capability in full display there as he's able to return that punt for a touchdown. So after surrendering the punt return for a score, let's see what they can do in turn on this kickoff. Fielded just outside the goal line. And good coverage there on special teams as they'll get him down shy of the 20. So now the AFC offense here coming back out for their 2nd drive. They find themselves in a good-sized hole here, and a good-sized hole early on in this game as they come up on 1st down. The drive starts with a run by Allen, and he'll be taken down at the 20 after a gain of just 1. The run only got a yard. Here's 2nd and 9. Here's Brady. And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked off by Deion Sanders. And he's going to bring this one back for an NFC touchdown. Charles, it is pretty rare that we see a team build this kind of lead in the opening quarter. And, man, they seem to be clicking on all 3 phases right there. The defense doing its part with a pick 6.
And it's absolutely...
Oh, and now they're going to fake it.
I know they're not asking me, but I'll give you my opinion anyway. I think it's time to erase that play from the call sheet. I guess they figure with the big lead they can experiment a little bit. But all in all, just go ahead and put that play on ice.
And this is going to be secured by the AFC. So an onside kick fail in the 1st quarter. Not sure I completely see the logic there.
It's not apparent, is it? You almost have to go deeper, I think, and maybe... if we try and work along with them and speculate a little bit here, they must feel like they need to steal possessions in it.
And now a fumble. Brady loses the football. One quarter in the books of the Coliseum. The AFC with a football here to begin the 2nd quarter. Sacks, a growing theme in this 1st half. This is 2nd and long. Up the middle they run with Bettis. So as we mentioned at the top, let's take you through the life of John Madden. And, you know, it's very fitting that we're here back in the Bay Area, not just because John's so associated with Raider football, but also because this was where he spent his formative years.
Yeah, he grew up over in Daly City with his buddy John Robinson, who would also become an NFL head coach. And he played his high school ball at Jefferson High, eventually wound up playing tackle at the University of Oregon and later Cal Poly San Luis Obispo. Played well enough that in 1958, he was a 21st round draft pick of the Philadelphia Eagles. That's right, the draft of 30 rounds then.
Now a first carry for their fullback. And trying to push forward, but he is going to be stuffed up in the backfield. Now they contend with a 2nd and 12 after the loss. They'll run with Allen. And he's going to get this one down inside the 15.
But Charles, you mentioned Coach was a 21st round draft pick back in 1958. It was the Philadelphia Eagles who selected him. But unfortunately for John, knee problems, they just continued to dog him. He was hurt in his first training camp. Actually never saw the field as a player in the NFL. But it was still during his time with the Eagles, you and I were talking about this before going on air, that you could start to see the light bulb going on for what his career path might entail.
And it went on in a big way, didn't it? Because while he was rehabbing his knee, he started to spend a lot of time breaking down film with the Eagles. With quarterback Norm Van Brocklin, the future Hall of Famer and future head coach in the NFL. Remember, Norm Van Brocklin coached with the Falcons, he coached with the Vikings. And it's there, during that time, I think Coach Madden realized his love of football and love for teaching, combining all that together, and that meant being a football coach. So in 1960, began his coaching career at a small college south of San Luis Obispo called Allen Hancock, and then later at San Diego State University under another legendary coach, the guy who could throw it around pretty well, Don Coryell.
The NFC offense coming out here, and you know, Charles, Coach Madden always said that if he had one drive to win a game and he had to pick a quarterback, he would pick Kenny Stabler. But I think if you asked him to omit any of his Raiders players, there's a good chance the guy he'd select would be Brett Favre.
Brett Favre is always smiling. He's always laughing. He's always talking to someone. He remembers that it's a game. And if it's a game, you should have fun.
And Brandon, that always reminds me of a great movie line where one of the players was telling the coach, every time I say it's a game, you say it's a business. And every time I say it's a business, you say it's a game. With Coach, it was always a game.
Now on the run, he'll throw it back deep over the middle. And he bats it away, and it falls down incomplete.
Well, Charles, you know, it was in the early 1960s that a young John Madden made the acquaintance of the owner of the Oakland Raiders, one Al Davis, of course, and the two, they really bonded, would become one of the best owner-coach duos in NFL history. And to take it a step further, Al Davis became someone who John referred to as his best friend.
Yeah,
and that's caught inside the 35. And touchdown! Calvin Johnson, 78 yards. And the NFC is in for 6. As he was shuffling right out of the pocket, you could just tell he was going to take a shot downfield. He had his eyes down there the whole way.
He certainly did. He wasn't taking off to go, right? When he was flush from the pocket, a lot of times you see him, eyes will drop, ball will get tucked, and he takes off, becomes a running back.
And he's going to be taken down. It's a sack, and they fail on the try for 2. So tried to throw it in for 2 points, but the D got home, brought him down.
Yeah, got home, which means there had to be good coverage, just had nowhere to go with the ball. Typically, you try and throw quick hitters, quick slants, you know, maybe even a quick fade. Nothing was open. He ends up getting sacked.
And they're going to mark that where it went out of bounds, so really good starting field position up past the 40-yard line. So now the possession will begin at the 35 after the errant kickoff.
Well, that's certainly one way to avoid a dangerous kick returner, I suppose, but you are giving up extra yardage, that's for sure. Because if you put it out of the end zone, they start at the 25. So at a minimum, you're giving up 10 yards to the offense.
So a 5-yard run the other way in the wrong direction, and that leads us to 2nd and 15. To throw, it's Brady. And on the left sideline, he caught it, but out of bounds, according to the head linesman. Incomplete, so the ball a little late getting there, and it's 3rd down. Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. That one caught by Tyreek Hill. And they will get this across midfield, but still well short of the first as he's dropped at the 46. On is the Hall of Famer Ray Guy to punt this away on 4th down. And that ball's going to angle out at the 3-yard line. A beauty.
That is how you flip field position. That's an absolute bomb of a punt. Downs it inside the 5-yard line. Absolutely ideal.
From that position, you're hoping to get it down inside the 15, inside the 5. Superb. Ready to begin their next drive here, the NFC offense. On the run, he'll let this go deep right side. And that is incomplete. Well, coming up in the second half, we'll run through John's post-coaching triumphs. But for now, we present a very special tribute to the man of the hour, narrated by Trey Mosley. Boy, Charles, yeah, that is really well done. Coach was something else, wasn't he?
I'm reminded what Al Davis said when he was inducting coach of the Pro Football Hall of Fame, Brandon. He loved the game. He loved his team. He loved the Raiders. He loved this league. And you can see it with everything he does.
No doubt. But it's quite possible, though, that now he would say, hey, enough of that. Let's play some football. And the second half forthcoming from Oakland. Now the AFC offense heading back out. You know, Charles, Coach really loved to utilize his tight ends in the passing game. You think about Dave Casper, Hall of Famer for those great Raider teams. And I think he saw a lot of Dave Casper in an all-Madden staple, Tony Gonzalez.
Tony Gonzalez is the type of tight end I think everyone's looking for. He's a guy that can make some big plays from that tight end position. Let me tell you, you better make sure you have him accounted for on every play.
And that's exactly right, because Dave Casper, he could shred defenses down the middle of the field. And that's exactly what Tony Gonzalez did in his entire career.
And now a fumble. Brady loses the football. Second time in this game, Charles, the ball is squirted out from his hands. Luckily, his teammate was there to pounce on it.
You're right. Got the lucky bounce, able to retain possession. You know, we often talk about the combine and why do we measure quarterbacks' hands. Is that really a big deal? It's for situations like this. Do you have the hands big enough and strong enough to hold onto the football while being jostled?
Trying for Brown, and it's intercepted. And he's going to bring this one back for an NFC touchdown. Well, if there was any thought that this thing might turn around for this offense in the second half, I think those thoughts pretty well dashed after that interception return there.
It just has not been a good outing for this unit whatsoever. There's no other way to say it. They've been overmatched, haven't performed to the level that they've needed, and that throw there is just going to contribute to this game getting out of hand.
And, boy, talk about adding insult to injury. He's into the end zone to tack on 2 more.
Discipline in football occurs on the field, not off.
So they throw the pick 6. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. And, oh, that's one he's going to want back. A poor kick. It heads straight out of bounds.
Free kick out of bounds.
Well, not one you see often there as he fails to keep it between the sidelines, and that is a penalty every time, and going to give this offense better field position.
And it's every kickoff guy's nightmare, isn't it? Because you don't see yourself doing this, and most of the time you don't. It's absolutely a mishit, and now your team pays the price. Bad field position for your defense.
So now, Charles, to pick up the story we've been telling, John Madden at 42, he just completed a 10-year stint as the coach of the Raiders. He wants to step away a bit from the grind of coaching, but he doesn't want to step away from the game of football. So he ends up signing on with CBS in 1979 to try his hand at broadcasting. And much like his coaching career, he was pretty much an instant success.
Partner, he really connected with the people right from the start, and people may not remember he wasn't even on the #1 team in the beginning. He worked his way up. But the same things that made him a great coach made him a great broadcaster. The ability to show the big picture, yet break it down into the details. That's what he did with his teams. That's what he did with the people. That way, he was simple to understand, yet insightful for viewers. And he did with that big personality that he had, one that connected with everyone.
And now a high kick, but he hit it straight up. So that'll be marked down as a 19-yard punt. And the NFC will take over 1st and 10. The offense for the NFC ready to get their next drive started. And it's hard to imagine that the first half could have gone any better for them. So what's the approach here in the second half?
Just continue to play smart football because they get...
This is caught inside the 15. It's a big play that time for the NFC, and even 60 yards. Well, that didn't take long. One play, and we're already looking at a 1st and goal situation. Favre. In trouble, and he'll go down back at the 12. In for the sack, Myles Garrett.
Well, there's still time to rectify this situation because the silver lining, they took a sack on 1st and goal. But that close to the goal line, that still definitely hurts.
They'll try again on 2nd and goal after going backwards to the 12. Running right, here's Sanders. And he's going to work this one down to about the 5. It's a good pickup on the ground of 7 yards, and time has run out on this one. Back now here on EA Sports. 3rd and goal as they look to pour some more salt in the wound. And this is a blowout so far as we get set for the 4th quarter. A very one-sided affair. It's about a 3-yard pickup there, but more importantly, they're still a few yards away here. It's now 4th down and goal. Going for it with Sanders. And he'll be caught behind the line of scrimmage at the 3. They start the drive with a give to Allen. And he finds a little bit of room, enough for 4 yards. It'll be 2nd down. So for Coach Madden, Charles, by 1981, his broadcasting career is really taking off. He's elevated to the network's #1 booth that calls all the big matchups. And he gets the plum assignment of calling Super Bowl 16, 49ers and Bengals, and he's teamed up with Pat Summerall. And that pairing ultimately would go on to be one of the most influential in sports broadcasting history.
Influential not just in us listening to them. Remember, they went on and called 8 Super Bowls together. But how they put together kind of the template that all of us broadcasters follow now. Sitting down with the head coaches and the quarterbacks and the stars of each team before a ball game to get extra information. And the way that those two paired together, Pat Summerall, short, concise, to the point, and turned it over to Coach Madden to fill in all the big details.
So 2 minutes to play in the John Madden Legacy game, and the NFC well in control. And we'll be back to Oakland after this. The punt team on now is from their end zone. They get it away. On the return, Hester. And he is out of bounds, but not before he's inside the 30. Oh, he nearly broke that one. As it stands, though, a heck of a 36-yard run back. And the NFC is going to have a short field as they take over 1st and 10. And he's going to be taken down here with a penalty flag on the field.
Illegal forward pass. Hey, we're going to do what we do.
So that flag obviously takes away the good yardage that they had on the play.
And talk about a momentum shift, because we can visibly see this celebration shifting from one side of the field to the other as soon as everyone saw the flag.
And he is going to lose yardage here. As you mentioned, CD, talking about John Madden, the broadcaster, he called 8 Super Bowls with Pat Summerall, 3 more with Al Michaels later in his career. He spent nearly 3 decades in the booth all told. And not only was he beloved for his mannerisms, we know that, but he was an innovator as well.
Yeah, Brandon, you're talking about things like the telestrator, which totally became identified with him, and now it's a staple for all analysts to have in the booth. And then you think about things like turducken on Thanksgiving, when you use words like boom and pow. He helped create the All-Madden team. He was a very popular commercial pitch man. And even the Madden Cruiser was unique, and you had to be someone to get a ride on it, too.
The AFC offense set to take their next drive. And Brady going to be intercepted a 3rd time. Picked up by the Hall of Famer John Lynch.
But with this advantage, this defense knew that passes were coming, and they stayed in position, Charles, and picked one off here in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, what a way to cap things off, huh? Because I think this is part of the game within the game. They see the scoreboard, they see what they can accomplish, and they went for it.
Well, this has certainly been special. And, Charles, as we wind down toward the end of this John Madden legacy game, your final thoughts?
Well, let's face it, partner, it's going to be hard to overestimate the impact that he made, not just on the sport of football, but on his family, friends, players, co-workers, and in the lives of millions of Americans who watched it. There will never be another John Madden.
Back-to-back good plays have him on the move on first down. Another run with Sanders. And he'll be taken down at the 20 after a gain of just 1. And we will get a timeout with 2 ticks left. It's a second down run with Sanders. Pretty move. And he takes it in for the score on the game's final play, so it doesn't affect the outcome, but a little whipped cream on top.
So it's a win here for the NFC. Just an incredible afternoon of football and remembering the life of John Madden.